Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce myself. My name is Nisa. I'm from Math Class B. Here I will uh, explain my answer from the question of final exam in Philosophy of Science course. The first question. We think there are several theories of scientific truth, among which are correspondence, coherence, pragmatic, and religion theories. Explain the four theories by giving the example to each of them. Correspondence theory. Correspondence theory states that a proposition or statement is true if it states as it is according to actual fact, reality, and situation. Conversely, if the statement contradicts the reality or fact at hand, so the statement is false or misguided statement. The example, there is a statement that says Jokowi is president of Indonesia because it's correspondent to reality, so that is a true statement. The second, coherence theory. The theory of coherence is that a proposition tends to be true if the proposition is interconnect or coherent or consistent with uh, another true proposition, or it says to be true if the meaning of it contains is in a state interconnect with our experience. The example, in our knowledge, all human beings will surely die is a statement that is indeed true. If Zaki is a human, then the state that Zaki will definitely die is a true statement because the second statement is consistent with the first statement that true. The third is theory of pragmatism. Pragmatic theory states that statements are measured or judged by whether they are functional in practical life. That is, a statement is true if the statement or consequence of the statement has a practical or simplifying use in human life. The example, the creation of a communication tool in the form of a cellular phone is considered correct because the cell phones are very useful for human life. Humans have become easier and more practical to communicate and search more information. The fourth, religious theory. Religious theory states that statements are said to be true if they are in accordance with religion, law, or Sharia. On the other hand, if it is not in accordance with religion rules, then the statement is false. The example, drinking liquor is a wrong matter because it violates or does not comply with religion's rules or laws. The second question, name a few of the means of scientific thinking that you know and explain each of them. Why it is important in scientific thinking with example. Scientific means and basically tools to help scientific activities with various types that must be taken. The purpose of studying the means of scientific thinking is to allow us to study scientific well. The means of scientific thinking include language, mathematics, statistics, and logic. The first, language. Language serves as a communication tool to convey the way of thinking throughout the scientific thinking process. For the example, when we have an idea of thought, we need language to convey it uh, to others. The second, mathematics. Mathematics has an important role in deductive thinking, so that is easy to follow and easy to track back the third. For example, if it is known that A belongs to the environment of B, while B has no relationship with C, then A has no relationship with C. The third statistic. Statistic has an important role to inductive thinking and looking for generally accepted concepts. For the example, in market research, statistics are needed to determine investment policy, selection of risking and crediting, or etc. The fourth, logic. Logic has a study of the method and principles used in distinguishing precise reasoning from improper reasoning. For the example, when we come to school late due to waking up late, so uh, with logic, with logic, we think that in order not to oversleep waking up again, we can turn on the alarm or ask someone at home to wake up us, and we are not late for go to school again. The third question, explain the difference between the paradigm of rationalism and empiricism in looking at how scientific is acquired. Give example to both paradigm. Rationalism is a philosophical understanding that says the reason is the most important tool in acquiring knowledge and testing knowledge. Rationalism teaches that knowledge is acquired by thinking. Tools in thinking and logical rules are logical rules. The example, if we want good grade, we must study to the maximum. Then empiricism is a form of school and philosophy that states that all knowledge comes from experience once carried out by men. Empiricism is also a school that rejects the notion that man has carried knowledge is himself at birth. The example, we believe that turtles walk slowly because they have experience, because we have experience seeing, seeing how to walk as reptiles. The fourth question, in the philosophy of science, we know three important things, namely ontology, epistemology, and axiology. Explain all three terms with the example. The first, ontology. Ontology is a branch of philosophy that discusses the nature of existence. It can also be understood as a science that discusses the nature of everything that exists, both in the form of physical and metaphysical reality. The example, table. The reality it is there is a image or idea that makes us recognize a table. No matter how many models of table there are, no matter how many sizes, colors, and different species, the thing it still a table. This this is the reality of the idea and image that exists. The second, epistemology. Epistemology is a science that examines the source of knowledge or the origin of methods, structure, and whether or not a knowledge is valid. Epistemology deals with how we get science. The example, chairs. How can we know that the object is a chair? The beginning, of course, we have knowledge and capture the existence of nature of our sense, after which the analysis is that our intellect began to do. Reason that categories them into science that talk about chairs. The third, axiology. Axiology is a science that has a theory of value or a science that can be valuable and have benefits. The example, home. With the existence of a home, we can more easily determine where we will live, what kind of place is comfortable for us, and we can recognize that the house is an important and beneficial component for the happiness of our family on a daily basis. The fifth question, explain the hierarchy of science according to the philosophy of science and give the example of each of them. Hierarchy or levels of language is tool to understand a complex problem. When the problem is broken down in the person concerned. In the hierarchy of knowledge, there are five main foundations, namely tradition, authority, trial and order, logical reasoning, and science method. The first, tradition. Knowledge gained from hereditary custom or custom carried out by the community. The example, people often do weightlifting exercise with three sets of 10 reps. When asked what the reason is, the answer is because it is often done by many people. The second, authority. Knowledge obtained from the rule and the form of knowledge or instructions. The example, the student in the class will assume the truth of what the teacher says because the teacher is considered an expert. The third, trial and error. Knowledge gained from trials. The example, a beginner who wants to try selling his own product in order for in order from uh, their product to sell well and be famous, there are many things that must be passed. The fourth, logical reasoning. Knowledge is acquired by man by thinking deeply. It is philosophical and doesn't easily believe in information. The example, um, we have the fact that cows have eyes, elephants have eyes, as well as lion, cats, and various other animals have eyes. From these realities, we can draw a general conclusion that all animal has eyes. The fifth, scientific method. The interpretation comes from truth that have been tested, tough research, and methodically. It is a combination from the philosophies and science. The example, utilizing therapeutic as a traditional treatment starting from the ovaries, it is true that therapeutic is able to treat wound uh, than collect information, correct hypothesis, make observation, and conclude. Found, found in numeric contains antibiotic that, that are able to heal wound. The sixth question on the last question. In Islam, we know the concept of Islamization of science and the integration of religion and science. What do the two terms mean? What is behind the emergence of these two concepts? How are these form of Islamization of science and the integration of religion and science implement? The Islamization of knowledge or of science is an effort to liberate science from cellular meaning, idioms, and principles so that new science is formed in accordance with Islamic law. Then, the integration of religion and science means seeking to combine science and religion to create a new format of the relationship between science and Islam in an effort to rebuild Islamic science that has been seen on non-existence. Some of the serious problems that Muslims are facing are referred to as a global malaise or crisis that some Muslims in the world are experiencing. The crisis has caused Muslims to occupy the lowest position among other nations in the field of politics, economy, and education. They have been extorted, colonized, and deprived of their country, slaughtered, and forced to recant their religion. In response to this problem of Muslims, it is important to take corrective measures. Thus, Al-Faruqi, as Islamic philosopher recommend the importance of mixing secular or profane education with Islamic education. The dualism of education that exists among Muslims today must be completely eliminated. The Islamization of science and the integration of religion and science can be implemented in two ways. The first, by isolating existing and developing science. The second is by way of evangelizing Islam or a movement that objective and transcendent value of religion to create social transformation. Okay, I think enough for me, and I'm sorry if I have many mistake. So, teras I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.